Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at XLM. This is going to be a higher time frame video. We do have a lower time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we have price history here from August 2014. Now, if we are looking at the structure here, there's a couple of ways we can interpret this. So we're going to go over a couple of the ways that I'm looking at it and where this could potentially see price going in the future. So one of the ways that I'm looking at is that potentially within this structure here, we could have this as 1, 2, all of this as a bigger third wave here, fourth and fifth, in which case what this could mean is that we've actually completed a higher degree, either a wave or a wave 1. Now, if this is the case, effectively what we'd be looking for would be a deeper B wave move, looking for this zone here of the 0314 to the 0049 as a possible target area here. Now, this would imply that we're going to see a bit more of a drawn out corrective phase here, where we would actually see something along these lines where we see a bigger corrective move forming here to the downside. So we need to be on the lookout for this, that if we do just see a three-wave structure up here, this could actually align with still coming back down into some of these levels. Now, an area of interest to me would be this previous fourth wave low, which is sitting here towards this 0263, and that would also align with coming back down into this 50% area. So we would have to keep an eye on that if we do see price actually look to reject and continue to the downside here. Now, there is another way we can look at this. We could also argue that within the structure we have this as a completed A wave here, and what we could be looking for is that this is B, and then we actually look to push up directly here. In this case, what we'd be looking for would be the potential that this is A, B, and what we're looking for is a 5-wave move here to the upside, looking for this C wave. Now, the C wave 1-to-1 target, given the fact that we don't move lower than this 0261 again, would actually be here at this 1971. That would be our 1-to-1 target, though. If we have a look at the internals of this move, it would actually suggest that this could potentially push up higher here, potentially towards this zone here of this $29 to the $64. So we'd have to obviously await the confirmation. What we'd want to see here is a move past this 1773, and then we'd want to find support here in an additional fourth wave, and then we'd want to see that fifth wave to the upside. Now, within this count, it is also possible that we could argue that this B wave is not completed, and what we could see is something along these lines, where actually what we have is this is our A wave, and we're still looking to complete this B wave to the downside. So this could actually mean that we haven't completed this, and like I was saying, we need to be on the lookout that this could actually be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, that would mean that this would be an A, this would be a B wave, and then we're looking for the C wave. 1-to-1 is actually lower down here towards the 0219, and the 786 and 854 are sitting here towards the 0470 to the 3069. If we do see a push to the downside again here in 5 waves, what we could possibly see is this zone here, the 0557 to the 0377 as a possible zone. Now, this would be valid for as long as we stay below this 1989. We haven't quite crossed this level yet, and if we fail to actually see price action move back above this level, we need to be careful that this is not the case here, where we could still be looking at this move as a 5-wave structure, looking to push down one more time for this C wave. Now, the other way we could argue is that if we are looking at it in the primary count, that we're looking for this as a completed move into this high here, what we could be seeing here to the downside is the possibility of a bigger W and X and a Y. Now, we could potentially, like I said, have this count as a completed 1, 2 here, and then we need to see price break back above these highs. If we fail to achieve good structure to the upside here, what we need to be careful of is the other way of saying that this moves and completes into this high here, could have this actually as a W wave here. This is an X and another Y wave to the downside. If this is the case here, effectively what we could be setting up for is another 3-wave move to the upside for this X wave. Now, if we are looking at this as an X wave here, what we are looking at is a possible rejection area. So this is an area that we typically look to reject from if we form an X wave, would be between the 786 and the 0.382. Depending on what structure forms here, what we could actually see is a bit more of a drawn out move here, where we get something like this as a 3-wave move up for an A, we get a 3-wave move down for a B, and then we see something like this as a C wave, looking to get some better time proportion towards the second wave as there was to the first wave. So that's what we need to be on the lookout for here. It is also possible we could see something like this, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. we get 3 waves down, we see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that could just be a zigzag over here, where if we do look for a zigzag, typically speaking, we look to push up higher into this zone. So I would be ideally looking for between the 618 and the 786 if we do see that move as a zigzag. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this move to the upside here and see exactly how this plays out. At the moment, we just have 3 waves here. If we fail to achieve good structure here and fall to the downside, that could be that 5th wave, or alternatively, we have actually come up high enough here as a potential X wave, because we did hit the 0.382, and what we'd be on the lookout for here is if actually we look to break down from this as a bigger W, an X, and a Y off of our current target, what we'd be looking for as a 1-to-1 would be this level here of this 0716. But we do have some other levels here which could be potentially interesting. The 786 to this 854 would be bringing us back into this low like we were talking about earlier. So I'd be keeping an eye on that level if we do see price actually start to break down here for this Y wave. Obviously, the higher that we come here, the higher this target as well becomes. So if we had to see a move up into the 0.618, for instance, that 1-to-1 moves up towards this 0.281, which would be quite an interesting level once again because of this low that we have over here. So we need to just be on the lookout. This X wave could possibly be completed, in which case we could see price start to fall away for this Y wave. But as long as we actually hold these lows here, we could potentially be looking for that break to the upside, because like I said, you know, we could possibly be in a situation where we already have this as a 1 and a 2, and we're starting this bigger 3rd wave, but we'd only get that confirmation by a move up towards a 1773. If this is the case and we're looking for this possibility of an explosive move to the upside here, we need to see volume starting to pick up. We need to see some nice strong moves to the upside here, looking to eradicate those ideas of the bearish patterns and starting to break back above these highs of this 80 cents here. And then finally, like I said, looking to reach those higher targets. Now, within the structure here, we have a couple of ways that we can discuss how this X wave could be here. What we could see is that this could just be A, B, and C, something like this, where we see this as a bigger 3-wave move to the upside. We see 3 waves move down, and then we see a C wave to the upside. This would align with the idea of this being an X wave that is playing out as a corrective move here. And what we would then be looking for would be potentially up here towards this 29.15 to this 25.10 as a 1-to-1. Now, like I said, it is also possible that within this, we could be getting something like an impulse. Now, the way that I would like to count this as an impulse would be actually that this is 1 and a flat for 2, and then we'd be looking for this as a bigger 3rd wave here. Now, the problem is that the internals would be suggesting that this is by far surpassed the 1.618, but it would make it more likely actually that if this is a 3rd wave, we could see this come in towards this zone of this 2240 as a 3.618. Alternatively, if it does look to push up past this level and extend out further, what we would then possibly be looking for as a alternate target for this would be up here towards this 30 cents for this 4618. So gonna have to keep an eye on this. I'm not going to go too much into the internals of this. We're going to be doing a separate video on the lower time frame stuff, but effectively what we'd be saying is that this would be 1, 2, and then we'd be looking for this 3rd wave to the upside. Now we would be looking at this potentially looking to extend, then where either this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're getting an extension in the 5th wave here, or alternatively what we're getting is something along these lines, which would imply a much bigger extension where this is 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're starting to push up in a bigger way. The only way that this would be confirmed would be moving above this 39.91 and losing these key levels 1403 and 1244 would actually look to, you know, make this less likely. Another thing I want to just talk about here, if we come back out here onto the weekly, is having a look at this whole upper area as a range. What we can see is that we do have our point of control sitting down here at this 0878. So if we do see price look to come back down here, we could potentially look to revisit this area. We could also look to find support slightly higher up here, because we can see there is a bit of a volume spike here towards the top end of this move at this sort of 10-cent region. Now, if we do see price continue to push to the upside here and we see something like this as a bigger corrective move, what we could actually see is a move back up into this value area high, which is sitting towards this 33.34. So I would be keeping an eye on this level if we do move up into that zone. Alternatively, if we are talking about that possibility of seeing this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and we actually fail to push back above this level here, and we do see that fifth wave come in, there is a bit of confluence with that fifth wave idea and the potential of coming down into this value area low, which would align with coming back towards the zone of the 0.557 to the 0.377. So gonna have to see whether we actually manage to invalidate this, and if we do look to invalidate this idea of this being a regular impulse here, what we just have to be cautious of is the idea that within this we could still see something like a diagonal pattern here if we are looking at this as a 5-wave move. It wouldn't be the most common because it would have to be an expanding diagonal, but in that case then this fifth wave would have to go longer than the wave 3 to the downside. So it's not the primary way I'm looking at it. We'll have to address it if we start to see something like that playing out, but it's not my primary expectation. Just if we do break down here, this fifth wave does have nice confluence with this value area low. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.